Hello and welcome to my TBR for the Orilium Autumn Equinox Magical Readathon. I am so excited for August. If you don't know anything about the Orilium Autumn Equinox, I will leave G's announcement video linked down below. This is a two-part readathon that happens twice a year in April and in August. If you were here in April, I did the spring equinox and I didn't quite read all of the books that I needed to read, and so I was kind of limited in my calling. The calling I wanted to choose, but I've decided to go for Rift Architect because that just sounds so cool. So there are 3 different grade levels for each class for the Autumn Equinox. There's Ordinary, there's Qualified, and then there's Distinguished. For Rift Architect, I need to get a Ordinary in Inscription, a Qualified in Conjuration, and a Distinguished in Spells and Incantations. But you guys know I like a challenge, so I'm going to be attempting to get a Distinguished in all 3 classes. Should be doable. So let's get into my TBR. I'm so excited. So let's start off with Inscription. To get an Ordinary in Inscription, I need to reread a childhood favorite. And I've kind of stretched the prompt a little bit just because I didn't want to reread a childhood favorite because I couldn't really think of anything, to be honest. I don't remember what I read as a child. So I decided to kind of stretch this a little bit. My favorite childhood Disney movie, I would say, was The Little Mermaid. Okay, I decided to read this. This is Part of Your World by Liz Braswell. This is part of the Disney Twisted Tale series, in which they take like the classic Disney movie basic premise and like twist it a little bit. So this one is what if Ariel had never defeated Ursula, which sounds very interesting. So I have been really loving the series. I read the Frozen one and I loved it. It was just so cozy and like beautiful. I loved it. And then I also read the Alice in Wonderland one, which was pretty good as well. So I'm excited to continue on and read this one based on my favorite childhood movie. I think it still works for the prompt, okay? It's my favorite childhood story. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. Like I said, these have been really fun so far, and they're also like really quick reads. This one is a little bit chunkier. It's like 500 pages, nearly 500 pages. But I mean, like the font is really big, and the other 2 that I read, they were very quick reads. So this should be perfect. To get a Q, a Qualified in Inscriptions, I need to read a graphic novel or comic or manga. And I actually recently picked this up. This is Alpha Volume 1 by Olivier Blake. You guys know that Olivier Blake is my new favorite author this year, just based on the Atlas 6 alone. Her writing is absolutely stunning, so I want to read everything by her eventually. And I saw this. I didn't even know about this. I think I heard someone mention it and I was like, wait a minute, she has a graphic novel? Like, yes, I'm going to read that. So I did. I did not realize that it was going to be so tiny. It is very small. So this is going to be a very quick read. If I end up loving this, then I'll definitely pick up the 2nd volume and read that one as well. But I have no idea what this is about. Like, none whatsoever. It says they told her she was perfect. They never told her why. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm not reading the synopsis. It's so short that I don't want anything given away. So I'm just gonna read it, and I'm very excited about it. I cannot wait. And then to get a Distinguished in Inscription, I need to read a cozy read. And I was really thinking of picking up like a cozy mystery for this prompt because I haven't read a ton of cozy mystery this year, and that's a genre that I've really been enjoying the past couple of years. But in an effort to stick with the books on my physical TBR, I decided to go for a middle grade because middle grade is always very cozy for me. And so for that, I'm going to be reading Eva Evergreen, Semi-Magical Witch by Julie Abbey. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. This is about Eva, I don't know. But she needs to earn the rank of Novice Witch before her 13th birthday. Yes, before her 13th birthday, and if she doesn't, then she'll lose her magic forever. The problem is she's not very good. Like, she doesn't have a lot of magic. She only has a pinch of magic. It just sounds so sweet, and I don't know what this little animal is next to her. Is that a cat? It doesn't look like a cat. It's something. Is that a fox? I don't know, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited to find out. I cannot wait to read this. I think it's gonna be like just the ultimate cozy read. Okay, so that was Inscription. The next class I need is Spells and Incantations, and to get an O in that class, I need to use a color wheel and pick my read. So I did do that. Maybe I'll pop up, I think I recorded it, so I'll pop up the little video here. I added a few colors to the wheel, like a white and a black and a couple of grays, just to get a little bit more variety. And I ended up getting blue. And it was a very hard decision because there was a lot of options to choose from and I didn't know what to go with. And I don't have anything that's like that perfect kind of blue, but I feel like the book I picked is it's pretty blue. It's pretty blue. It's fine. And that is What We Harvest by Anne Fristat. I am so in the mood to read something spooky, something atmospheric, something dark. I'm really feeling like the spooky fall vibes, you know? Even though we're not quite there yet, but that's kind of what I want to read. And I think that this is gonna help me. This is gonna give me what I need, hopefully. This is a YA horror that follows Ren. And honestly, I really don't know too much about this. All I know is that it's like some kind of biological horror, creepy plant type situation, which sounds perfect for me. This cover is like giving me everything. Like, I love this. I love this cover so much. Hopefully I end up absolutely loving it. We shall see. For qualified in spells and incantations, I need to pick a book from someone else's TBR. So I decided to go with another Orilium Autumn Equinox TBR by the channel Beauty Chem Cam. I'll leave their TBR video linked down below so you can check them out. But they actually put The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang on their TBR, and I thought this is perfect. I really need to continue on with this series. I don't know why I haven't yet. I think it was back in September of last year that I read The Poppy Wars. It's been quite some time and I need to continue on. I love R.F. Kuang's writing, especially after reading Babel. I just need more from her. So I'm gonna pick this up. It's a bit of a chunker. It's like 650 pages, but I remember getting through The Poppy War really quickly. Like, I couldn't put it down. I just loved the writing. I loved Rin. I loved the world so much and I had such a good time with it. It was very difficult to read, definitely, especially the second half of it, but it was so immersive. And so I'm hoping for a similar experience with the second book. And hopefully I like it just as much as I like the first one, if not more. And then for a distinguished in spells and incantations, I need to annotate a book, which is simple enough. I usually annotate most of the books that I read. Sometimes I don't, but most of the time I do. For that prompt, I have picked not Middle Game. This is Seasonal Fears by Seanan Mcguire, the sequel to Middle Game, which is, I guess, more of a companion sequel to Middle Game. Middle Game is one of my favorite books. I have been putting this off. This was one of my most anticipated reads, but I keep putting it off because I'm scared. I'm scared to read it because everyone else who has read it already has not enjoyed it as much as Middle Game, and that scares me. But it's a very rare occasion that I'm let down by Seanan Mcguire, so I'm still hoping to love this. I really am, but my expectations have kind of been lowered. So hopefully I go into this with the right mindset and I still enjoy it. Okay, the last class that I need to pass is Conjuration. And to get an O in Conjuration, I need to read a book with necromancy themes. So I thought this is the perfect opportunity to put another very highly anticipated release on my TBR. This actually came out in October of last year and I never got around to reading it. That is Vesper by Margaret Rogerson. Margaret Rogerson is definitely a favorite author for me. I loved Sorcery of Thorns. It's one of my top favorite books. I really enjoyed Enchantment of Ravens, and I'm very excited to read the beginning of a series by Margaret Rogerson. I don't know if this is going to be a duology or a trilogy. I'm not sure. This is following Artemisia, who is a Grey Sister, and a Grey Sister is someone who like prepares the bodies of the dead for burial. Yeah, cleanses the bodies of the deceased so that their souls can pass on. Otherwise, they will rise as spirits with a ravenous hunger for the living. Her convent ends up getting attacked, and she ends up raising this spirit to protect her, and like, I think something bad happens with the spirit. So I'm excited about this. I love Margaret Rogerson's writing, and I'm really hoping that I'm gonna enjoy this one. To get a Q, I need to read a book with a bone on the cover or in the title, and I've decided to finally pick up Vampires Never Get Old by it's edited by Zoraida Cordova and Natalie C. Parker. This is a short story collection, and I wanted to pick this up all summer and I never got around to it. This has the story First Kill in it by V.E. Schwab, which has now been turned into a Netflix show, and I really want to watch the show, but I need to read this first. Or at least the story first, but I'm gonna read the whole book in August. And I'm very excited about it. I love vampires. Who doesn't love vampires? But I'm very excited for V.E. Schwab's story, as well as Rebecca Roanhorse has a story in here. Then finally, to get a distinguished in Conjuration, I need to reread a favorite. And for that, I'm going to be picking Dusk or Dark or Dawn or Day by Seanan Mcguire. Yes, I have 2 Seanan Mcguire books on this TBR. I'm so excited for this because it has been years since I read this, and I really don't remember exactly what happened, so I think that this is going to be like a really fun reread. This takes place in this world where, like, if you die before your time, you have to pay off the rest of the time that you would have lived in service to the world, if that makes sense. So we're following our main character, Jenna, and Jenna died. I don't remember if it was an accident or if she died by suicide, but she has to spend the rest of her death, the rest of the years that she would have lived, working at a suicide hotline. However, something sinister is coming for the ghosts of New York, and Jenna has to stop it. And I don't remember, honestly, what it was. Like, I don't remember what happens in here. I just remember absolutely loving this. So I cannot wait to give it a reread and see if I still feel the same way about it. But I'm pretty sure I will. I mean, it's Seanan Mcguire. I think that this was the first Seanan Mcguire I read, because I picked this up before I knew anything about her as an author. So excited for this. So that is going to be my Orilium Autumn Equinox TBR. Talk to me down in the comments. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought. Also, let me know if you are going to be participating in the Orilium Readathon this August and what your calling is going to be. I would love to know. I love hearing from you in the comments. But that is going to be it from me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you have not done that already. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!